Can you go a week without porn? Can you go 30 days, 60 days, 90 days? Do a detox. Notice, what are you feeling? Kind of experiment. What if I don't use any porn for a week? And how are you feeling at the end of the week?
Yo, yo, yo.
What's up, Matt?
Brother.
How you doing,
Yo,
bro?
Yaden. Good day, brother. I'm doing well. Brothers, welcome to today's episode of the Porn to Purpose podcast. We're happy to be back. At least I am.
Okay, I'm happy to be here too.
All right, there it is. That's what we're looking for. That's what we're looking for. Good to see you today, brother.
Acting
And
like I'm
brothers,
not happy to be back. Don't call it a
Brothers,
comeback. I've been here for years.
that's what we say in recovery. We say, don't worry about not keep coming back. Just don't leave in the first place.
There you go. There you go.
Brothers, we got a concept here on the P2P podcast, which I don't think we've touched on before, but we've dared
Not
to
that I can
venture
remember
into-
since I've been here with you. We have not talked about this subject.
We have not, though we have talked about it inside the Liberation Boot Camp. It's pretty.
Wait, we have talked about porn though. We talk about porn every week. So
well, we talked
porn
about
is not a new topic.
but this specific category, if you will, or section, we do dig into it inside the Liberation Boot Camp when we read the book Your Brain on Porn, and that's exactly what we want to talk about today is the effects of porn on the brain.
This is your brain. This is your brain on porn.
This is your brain
Any
on porn.
questions? We need to get those 1980s commercials. I know you're old enough. We're about the same age. I know you remember those commercials from the 80s. This
Yes,
is
I
your
do.
brain. It's the egg. Crack it in
And
the
the fried
skillet.
egg.
This is your brain on porn.
Right? Yep.
Bro, I'm just making the connection right now as I think about it. That is the guilt, fear, shame, avoid strategy. That's all that is.
Exactly.
I mean, it was a
And
hilarious commercial.
It was.
And I was like, I'm not interested in trying drugs because I don't want to fry my brain. But worthless tactic.
I learned it by watching you, Dad. For anybody that's in our age bracket, I'm sure you remember.
Yeah.
Anyway, today we are going to touch on this on this conversation. Now, to preface, we're not neuroscientists, right? We're not scientists at all.
We're not doctors. We're not scientists. I
Right.
was homeschooled, grabbed my GED, and then went to college based on those slim indications of intelligence.
Yes. But we have lived what porn does to the brain. And if you're tuning in here today, then likely
we have lived
it. We've lived it. And if you're here today, then likely you have as well. So just to kind of set this up, like, brothers, have you ever, if you're anything like me, have you ever used porn, right? Maybe gone on a long porn binge. That was always my style, big long binges, or maybe you're a regular daily.
Pause for just a second, Matt. Matt, you said, brothers, have you ever used porn? Yeah, every dude listening to the podcast has used porn.
Right.
Let's be real, right? We know you've used porn, dude, that's listening to this, just like we have.
Right.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your flow. I couldn't miss that opportunity to say, if you've used porn, let's be honest here. They have. They know.
So if you can relate, right? What my experience would be is like regular porn use or big long porn binges that the next day or later on that day, or just as a result of regular porn use in my life, I experience low energy, foggy brain, numb, unmotivated, right? Freaking depleted, right? Just like mentally dumbed down after porn use. And what we want to suggest to you, or maybe like you're a regular porn user and you feel like you're just kind of like walking around in life in a fog, right? In a fog. We want to let you know that that's not random. What that actually is it's your brain telling you something's off.
Yep. That fogginess. Yeah. It's no bueno. It's no bueno.
Yep. So today we want to talk with you a little bit about how porn actually affects the brain, how it rewires the brain, right? How it messes with your energy, with your drive, with your motivation, and what you can actually do to begin to correct that.
But wait, there's more. There is also good news. This is what do they call that? They call it a yes sandwich. Hey, you're doing this well. You suck at this, but this was good.
Yep.
Right? Something like that.
Yep.
So here's what happens, guys. And you probably have seen this somewhere online, but when you go to the porn, when you're using the porn, man, it gives you this monstrous hit of dopamine. And dopamine is your brain's feel-good chemical. Your brain is wired to go after and engage in activities that release dopamine into the system. It's how we've been wired since day one. It is hard-coded into our brains. So when our brain finds something that releases such a flood of dopamine, it pays attention. It's like, oh, that's, I mean, imagine you're, well, what's the average age when kids find porn these days? It's like 9.
Yeah.
It's getting lower
probably.
and lower.
Yeah.
So for me, I think I was 8.
Mm-hmm.
So I was 8 years old, no sexual experience, education, no understanding of sex. I find a Playboy, and I remember like the rush of adrenaline, that like nervous energy where like, oh, is this, like what is this? This is mesmerizing and feels wrong, and all these emotions and just the dopamine flooded my system. My brain is like, hey, this feels amazing, this dopamine, and we want more of it.
Yep.
Here's the thing. With something like porn, that is, I've heard the term where porn is like super sensory. I'm not sure if that's the right term, but the point is that it's like not found in the natural world, especially modern day, 21st century, high def porn video, porn stars with implants, fake parts, perfect bodies, perfect everything. The lighting is perfect. Like that type of sensory interaction that does not exist in the natural world.
Yep.
It's like dopamine on crack, steroids, speed, everything all at once. And then that hits your brain. Brain's like, whoa, what is going on? And as you keep going back, your brain gets used to it. Your brain gets used to that. That's the level of dopamine hit that the brain is expecting. How many stories have you heard where it starts with pictures, goes to video, gets into heavier and harder and more and more? You need more, harder, faster.
Yep.
And since it's the porn thing, it's like, that is not what she said.
Yeah.
That is not what she said.
Yep.
You need more extreme content. You need novelty constantly to get that same level of dopamine hit.
Yep.
Everything in life starts to feel boring because nothing in the natural life can give you that same extreme dopamine hit. Going on a walk with your wife or with your girlfriend or just by yourself is not fun anymore.
Yep.
Going to see the new movie on a Friday night, not as exciting.
Yep.
Driving a motorcycle, not as exciting, right?
Yep.
Whatever cool, reading a book, playing guitar, rocking with your band, none of it can give you that extreme level of dopamine hit that the pornography can. It's like, okay, here we go. 1 beer used to be enough, but now it takes 6.
Yep.
We build and it's not like a tolerance to porn. It's a tolerance to the dopamine hit.
Yeah.
That's what it's a tolerance to.
Mm-hmm.
And it takes more and more and more. Here we go. I love this. I wrote this down in my notes. Porn is dopamine heroin.
Mm-hmm.
It trains your brain to chase these fake highs while real life loses its flavor.
Yep.
Hey, y'all. This is not about morals. This is not about morality. This is about your biology has been hijacked by an industry that does not care about you. They don't care if you lose your soul. They don't care if you lose your family. They don't care if you lose your job. They do not care. They know that the porn gets people addicted because of the dopamine, and it's a money printing factory. for
Yeah.
the industry.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Yeah.
So that's what's going on with your brain. It's this dopamine loop. Hit that extreme dopamine, everything else loses its loses its flavor, kind of turns grayish. And it's like your brain is, hey man, we're running low on dopamine. We need that dopamine. Okay, brain, let's go.
Yep. More.
Okay, sorry. I'm starting to get excited about this stuff now.
That's good. That's good. So brothers, like, let's talk about, like, what are some of the common symptoms that you might experience here? Like, how do you know whenever your brain is beginning to affect you? It's beginning to affect your body chemistry. A lot of the common signs, a lot of the things that I began to notice in my journey, Aiden, maybe you can relate to some of these: low motivation, brain fog, but all these things I'm going to say, it's like the screen in general gives me a dopamine hit. Junk food in general gives me a dopamine hit. Anything that gives me a dopamine hit that I'm over consuming is going to deplete me and wear me out. But porn just seems to be one of the ultimate drugs of choice. Sex. It's like hardwired into our biology. So a big one: losing attraction to partner, right? Because just like the normal everyday interactions or intimacy begins to lose its luster. I can personally, relate to that one.
100%, 100%.
Yeah.
Normal people cannot compare with the lighting, camera angles, surgically altered bodies in porn. We can't.
Yep. Depression is a big one because we've depleted all of our dopamine, right? All of our feel good, right? Depression is a big one. The world, as Yade mentioned, the world just kind of begins to feel gray. Lack of energy, right? Numbness, and inability to get excited about anything. Yade spoke to that one as well. So these are some common symptoms. You've likely experienced them. Maybe you just think it's like, hey, I've got ADHD. I just got low energy, right? We want to help.
Tough week. It's a tough season of life. I'm just exhausted all the time. All these stuff, because we don't recognize that it is directly tied to porn.
Exactly. I heard from a great teacher one time. He shared, like, there has been more value in the things that I have removed from my life than in the things that I've added to my life. Right? Like, imagine we're like a natural river, a natural stream that wants to flow through us, and it's like we're polluting it. And we think, I need an energy drink, I need porn, I need the coffee, I need the cigarettes, I need the drugs, I need the screen. Right? We've got all this crap in there, and what we want to help you guys begin to do is, like, just stop, like, polluting the stream.
Matt, I'm not giving up my coffee though. All right, I'm just saying, I'm still
Fair
gonna
enough.
have my espresso in the morning.
Fair enough. But what we want to, and I wouldn't do that to you, Aiden. What we want to remind you guys is that, as Jaden spoke to, we were given this, like, we were unconscious little kids. We really didn't realize, like, the power that we are being handed as kids. Whenever we adopted it, and it became hardwired into a part of our being, and we adopted it as this feel good mechanism, this emotional coping mechanism. So we want to, like, remind you and come to this conversation with compassion and remind you that you're not broken. It's not just about being lazy or willpower.
Nope,
it's that your brain is stuck in this loop, and porn is the loop.
Like, you're getting loopy because you're in the loop. It's you start to lose kind of that edge, that fire, get off mission. And, like, I think you meant the worst part, you don't even realize it's connected to porn. It's like, what is wrong with me? I got to get up earlier. I got to get up at 3 a.m. and do my 2-hour ice bath, and then make all my cold calls, and then post all my socials and accomplish a year's worth of work in a day.
Right.
Why do you feel lazy? Like, it's not that, bro. It's directly tied to the porn.
Yeah.
But wait. There's good news. The brain never loses its neuroplasticity, which is the intellectual, scientific way to say you can teach an old dog new tricks.
Yeah.
Right? If you're out there thinking, like, dude, this is just me. This is just who I am. I've been this way for decades. Bro, not true. Not true. Matt and I both know decades of addiction. For me, 8 to 42. Right? 34 years stuck with this nonsense. And I'm here to tell you, you can rewire the pathways in your brain.
Yeah.
It's work. But most things in life that are worth doing take work.
Yeah.
So here we go. Okay. Let's do some neuroplasticity stuff in plain English. I'm going to read this so I don't screw it up. The brain is like a muscle. And you have trained it to go to porn for that comfort, the stimulation, and relief. But you can train it to go somewhere else. And it's called rewiring. That's it. You can train your brain slowly but surely to go somewhere else for that dopamine. That's how you rewire your brain, right? Now, some of the practical ways this happens, I mean, it takes time. This is time and consistency. It's effort over time, being diligent and consistent. So doing a detox. Can you go a week without porn? Can you go 30 days, 60 days, 90 days? Do a detox. Just see, notice, what are you feeling? Kind of experiment. What if I don't use any porn for a week? And how are you feeling at the end of the week? I suspect it's going to be a mixed bag. There's going to be some pride. Like, hey, man, I made it 7 days. No porn. Right? It's like no FAP November, right? Oh, I'm going to go all November with no porn. You get to the end of the month, like, hey, I've done pretty good. And at the same time, there's this like angsty, twitchy, nervous, right? Because you're detoxing. You're detoxing from that dopamine hit. So the obvious stuff is like, you have to replace the habit. The thing about porn is, if we're looking at it from the lens of how I was taught in traditional Christianity, that it's a moral failure, it's a sin, it's evil, it's immoral, all of these morality lenses. Now, let me be clear. I have no love at all for porn or the porn industry. I think it's evil. I think the industry is bad, evil, ruins people's lives. So what I'm saying is, the lens that I was given with my Christianity upbringing, it just didn't work. Thinking about porn as a sin, as evil, as immoral, none of that stuff kept me off the porn path. It just made me feel worse when I would use the porn. The dopamine hit, and then the guilt shoved it right back down. So when you think about porn as a coping mechanism, then suddenly we have a tool where it's like, oh, I feel bad. Generally, my brain is like, oh, type in Pornhub.com. Let's go. Let's go get the dopamine hit. That's when we can stop, sit for a moment. I mean, we have the 4-rack formula that we teach in the Liberation Bootcamp, where reflect on what you actually need. Hungry, angry, lonely, tired. What's actually going on inside that your brain is looking for a dopamine hit?
Yeah.
Ask yourself, what else can you do besides porn to get that dopamine hit? And then choose that activity. So a couple things like detox, replace the habits, find something else that you can get dopamine from. Maybe it's reading, maybe it's writing, music, hanging out with friends, going on a bike ride, going on a motorcycle ride, going to the movies, whatever it is. There are other ways to get healthy dopamine. Having sex with your wife.
To purpose. That sounds like porn to purpose.
Moving from porn to purpose.
Yep.
And as you're working through this, a critical piece is track your moods and energy. So you can start to uncover, you know what, when my emotions are here, that's when my brain says, let's go to porn. And when I notice these emotions, that's an early alert system. The biggest thing, though, about rewiring your brain, stay in community. You cannot get through this on your own. I tried for decades. So did Matt. Only when we plugged into a community where there was safety to fail along the journey, to fail our way into recovery, fail our way into sobriety, staying in the community created that safe space. where it's a nonstop forward progress to from porn to purpose.
Yeah.
The longer you're off porn, the more life starts to taste good again.
Mm-hmm.
Those other things bring back their color. Your drive comes back. Your energy comes back. Your fire, your zeal. I can tell you from personal experience, 100% true.
Your integrity comes back.
Yeah.
Self-respect.
The darkness fades and the light starts to shine.
Yes. Probably the best part.
Okay. I got it. I'm going to step off my soapbox now.
All right. So
sermon over.
It's good. Amen and amen. And it's good stuff. And Yaden, so Yaden mentioned like a detox, right? And so that's the invitation, brothers. Like we did an episode, I kind of had this criteria, like what are some ways that I can tell whether or not porn's a problem for me? And one of those is, can I quit? Can I stop? Can I stop for a week or 30 days, right? If not, then it might be a problem, So that is the challenge, and that's the call to action, brothers. Like, when's the last time you went a week? When's the last time you went 5 days? When's the last time you went 30 days? Have you tried? Have you told yourself you're going to quit, but you've been unsuccessful? That's the challenge for you, brothers, is to give it a rest and see what you notice. It's like a scientific method, right? As Jaden offered, give it a rest and then track what you notice. Notice your mood, notice your energy, notice your emotional state, notice your spiritual state, notice your mental state, notice your relationships, right? Notice what you're experiencing in your day-to-day life. Notice how you feel and then begin to extend that. And hey, look, we're here to tell you sometimes, a week can feel impossible, right? I know I can relate to that. But that's how we take back our brains, and that's ultimately how we begin to gain ground in our lives. But I also want to offer to your brother. Yeah.
It is a huge amount of work, y'all. I'm not trying to discount it.
Yeah.
This is some of the hardest work I've ever done.
Yeah.
And I've done a lot.
Yep.
But categorically, you are worth it. Your life is worth it.
Yep.
The stuff you want to do with your life, it's worth doing the work to gain the freedom.
Yep. And the good news, brothers, is you don't have to do it. You don't have to do it alone. I want to invite you to, if you're not already a member, come over and join us inside the Porn to Purpose community on Facebook. If you're on Facebook, got a beautiful community of men, over about 1,400 men, I think we're at right now, from around the world doing this work, beginning to have this conversation. We also offer, and we've got another one coming up. I think we do like a 7-day, right? Yaden Reboot Challenge.
We got a 7-day reboot challenge.
We're doing a 7-day. We did one last year. We'll probably be organizing another one within, I think probably sometime this quarter. We'll do another one where we come together for a week as a community, right? And we give ourselves an opportunity to do the reset. But also during the period of that reset, we're also doing the work. We're teaching the principles of the 4-rack formulas is how we did it last time as well, to give you some tools so you can stop just trying to white knuckle it, right?
Yep.
And maybe you're like, hey, Facebook group sounds good, challenge sounds good, but like I'm ready to dig in and do the work and really commit to making this foundational change in my life. Maybe you're already a member of the community. Maybe you've been listening to the podcast for a while and you're like, no, it's time. We want to invite you to check us out inside the Liberation Bootcamp, which is our 6-month deep dive, the same program Yaden went through. If you're really looking to dig into community, follow a proven path and get some traction in this area of your life.
6 months, change your life.
Yeah. If you're interested in exploring any one of those options, the simplest thing to do would be go over to our newly refreshed, and updated, and improved website, porntopurpose.com. We've got all links to all that stuff. We got information about the Liberation Bootcamp over there. We'd love to connect with you. We'd love to have a conversation with you. We'd love to hear where you are on your journey. We'd love to support you however we can, wherever you are in your path and your process, brothers. You do not have to fight this alone.
Get a shield brother next to you to help you get back up when you fall down, man.
Yeah.
It's the game changer.
Yeah.
All right, brothers. Thanks for hanging out with us this week. You're not alone. Keep doing the work. Keep
Yeah.
getting back up. Fall down 1,000 times. Get up 1,001 times.
Yeah.
That's it.
Reach out, let us know, give it a week, and let us know what you come up with. Let us know what you see. Okay, we'd love to hear from you. Yeah.
All right, man. Peace and
All
power,
right.
brothers.
Peace and power. Thank you, Yaden. We are noble men.
We're noble men.
Bye.